This is the Tata Ace.
Get ready for future delivered.
The mini truck that disrupted India's automobile industry. Launched 18 years ago, it has sold more than 25 lakh units to the world till today. Selling lakhs of cars is not a big deal, but in today's video, we'll dig into how this one pickup truck created a whole new category in India's automobile industry. The hub and spoke model that played into the Tata's launch strategy here. The user insight that was crucial to its success. And why the Tata Ace succeeded while NANO failed in India, which, by the way, was built by the same man. We spent days researching into what made Tata Ace a massive success. And in this video, I'll share in-depth insights with you on how they got here. So, let's dig in. Let me set some context. The year is 2000. The world has entered a new century. India is riding the liberalization wave. And we've just won the Under-19 World Cup. But in the house of Tatas, they seem to be struggling. See, Tata Motors had a 60% market share. But they've just made a 700 crore loss compared to the last year. And things were not looking so great. Something had to change. See, historically, Tatas have never had the best footing when it comes to consumer vehicles. So in a meeting of the top management, they decide to shift their minds to build in the commercial customer space. And what that would lead to over the next 5 years would change everything for them. Enter Ravi Kant. See, he's the man appointed to head the commercial vehicle business for Tata Motors. And his first order of business, he goes and sets up 4 cross-functional teams. Their only job is to go all out and research the market. So he sets up one team for ICVs, one for LCVs, one for MCVs, and the last one for the sub 4-ton market. And this team is the one that would later find the golden goose for them. See, for the sub 4-ton category, he handpicks Girish Wagh. Remember this name because he becomes central to the Tata Ace story. He's a 29-year-old mechanical engineer who has been given the task to study this last mile delivery market, currently dominated by 3-wheeler vehicles made by Mahindra & Mahindra, Bajaj Auto and Piaggio. So Girish gets down to business and travels the length and breadth of the country to understand small business owners, this last mile delivery market and their problems. And this is where the goldmine of Tata Ace insights starts to unravel. All this with one eventful day in Ahmedabad. He meets the owner of a Tata 407, a 2-ton truck. This owner complains to him that small 3-wheeler commercial vehicles have been killing his business because they were faster in transporting goods, and these 3-wheeler folks, they charge less. And this is where the first insight lied. The consumer need for a small truck that was also robust. See, commercial transport-focused 3-wheeler sales had 3x from 2001 to 2005. Now, we know India is a price-sensitive market. And even though the 3-wheelers were quick and fuel efficient, they did not allow for large storage space. A higher storage or tonnage, as it's called in the trucking industry, means increased earnings per kilometer. And earnings matter over everything else in this shipping category. Plus, the 3-wheelers were perfect for narrow lanes in India's city and village roads. So, Girish had to ensure that his Tata Ace had an almost identical width compared to the 3-wheeler competitors. And as we'll see later, it did. Now around this time, the Tata Group commissioned a study that gave Girish way more conviction. And this is where the second insight is. See, the logistics industry in India was shifting from a point-to-point delivery model to a hub and spoke model in the lieu of liberalization of a growing country. See, for example, take a delivery that needs to be shipped from Gujarat to Kolkata. In a point-to-point model, a driver would have had to pick the shipment from Gujarat and go by themselves to Kolkata and deliver it, and then had to wait for their next assignment in Kolkata. This is P2P, where vehicles are made to complete the entire journey between 2 points. But the scene was changing and the hub and spoke model was entering, where there is a central hub for everything. All drivers reported to the hub and got dispersed from there. So for example, a driver carrying the shipment from Gujarat would get the shipment to the hub in Delhi, and another driver from Delhi would then get it to Kolkata. Now, what this would do is it would remove dependency from medium-sized commercial vehicles or MCVs that were required to operate everywhere in all terrains, in all distances optimally, and they brought in the era of heavy and small commercial vehicles. See, heavy vehicles to travel through state lines and get it delivered to the hub in that state, and smaller vehicles that would then take these orders and complete the last mile of deliveries. This was where the gap was in the commercial vehicle industry, the last mile, and this became the Tata's core insight to develop the Tata Ace. Now, things start to heat up for Girish and team here. After all their research, they had drafted the first mock-up and plan for their truck. And on 23rd March 2001, they enter into a do-or-die presentation to pitch their idea for this mini truck to Ratan Tata. Girish presented all his research, findings and conviction on why this pickup truck was the right idea to put their money behind. And it struck a chord with Ratan Tata, who was the chairman of the group then. See, Ratan Tata was a visionary who could sense the growing need of a growing India and was pushing his leadership group to identify growth opportunities in the domestic market, especially for folks at the bottom of the pyramid. The Tata Ace was exactly what he was looking for. And this meeting that was scheduled for 10 minutes stretched for 45 minutes. And at the end, the team had the nod to go ahead and make this mini truck. And as Ratan Tata would name it later, the Ace from the Tata stack. And here is the third insight: an aspirational product for people at the bottom of the pyramid. Also, this is exactly what we teach during the first week of customer acquisition at the GrowthX Learning Experience. See, more than 50% of all Tata Ace owners are first-time entrepreneurs. Girish and team, after all of their research, understood that these three-wheeler truck owners wanted to elevate their social status, but they couldn't really afford to buy a passenger car. So the Tata Ace gave them the best of both worlds: a passenger car for two in the front and a truck body for the goods behind. See, a car is still a luxury in India, and driving a four-wheeler over a three-wheeler allowed these small entrepreneurs to signal to the society, their neighbors, and build perceived value for themselves. It was an aspirational truck for the family man and not just a work machine. Positioning done right. See, the Tatas had crisp understanding of who their ICP was. Entrepreneurs who value time over money, where they spend their time and money, and what was the core value proposition that the Tata Ace was offering. If Tata level user clarity is what you want to build for your product, do check out GrowthX. The link is in the description. Now, with the go-ahead for development, the team hit an early blocker. But what they created out of that blocker would become their USP in the future. See, this is 2002, and the team is working behind the scenes with heavy constraints around cost and fuel efficiency. Because of these constraints, the team could not find an engine globally that matched their requirements off the shelf. Now, first, without the engine, the project was a no-go. And they'd later find out that a lot of their competitors dropped the idea of a small truck just because they couldn't figure out an engine themselves as well. Quality would have to be at the center of this new truck if they wanted to win in this market. And trucks had a 4-cylinder engine in them. But Girish and team started working on a 2-cylinder engine. So in the starting, it performed way better than a single cylinder, but heavily lagged behind the 4-cylinder machines. But later in 2002, they had cracked it. A proprietary engine made by the Tatas. It nailed everything that the user wanted. 1/3 the cost, smooth performance, and the fuel efficiency of a 3-wheeler. This became the core USP of the Tata Ace. And it worked. Today, even after 18 years of its launch, the Ace owns 78% of its category. And who do you thank? The engine. Finally, after years of Girish and team working behind the scenes, the Tatas launched the Ace in 2005, and it swept the market. It disrupted the light commercial vehicle market in India by creating a new market segment itself, which is now called the Small Commercial Vehicle Segment, or SCVs. They became the first choice for transporters and single truck owners for city and rural transport. And by October 2005, LCV sales of Tata Motors had grown by 36% to more than 28,000 units due to the rising demand for the Ace. Tatas had the first movers advantage, and today every 4th truck sold in India is a Tata Ace. And since 2005, the Tatas have introduced 9 variants of the Ace and have sold more than 2.5 million units. And seeing this, of course, Bajaj, Mahindra, Ashok Leyland and Piaggio introduced their own SUVs. And now, as I promised you, what the Tatas and Girish got right with the Ace is exactly what they got wrong with the Nano. See, Ace was built with a bottom-up approach, where they were solving an exact need that they spotted amongst its customers. With Nano, the thinking was top-down. It was to make a car under 1 lakh for every Indian. And this is what led to the blunder. The Nano was positioned as India's cheapest car. India's cheapest car. See, nobody wants to own the cheapest car in India. And as I said earlier, cars are still a luxury in India. But cheap luxury products are still perceived as low quality and are looked down upon. Buying a car is high signaling for any Indian family. They're good with buying an affordable car, but they would never take the cheapest car in front of their relatives. And this is what led to the downfall of Nano. In a parallel universe, if they positioned Nano like a secondary family car for India's city traffic, things might have looked different. But Nano was a GTM failure. GrowthX members currently learning the craft of GTM are looking at this and smiling. But yeah, it was a GTM failure. But apart from that, that was how Tata aced India's automobile industry. And now, because I asked you to subscribe every week, I've got someone here today. Say hi to Jaga. He takes care of a lot of research for wireframes. And why don't you tell them?
Hey folks, I really hope you found some value in this video. And remember, this is a very small teaser to what we teach at the GrowthX learning experience. So do check it out. The link is in the description. And yeah, if you love this video, you'll love the video on Meesho's growth strategy. Do check it out. Oh, come to point.
That's it. We'll see you in the next one.